All right, what's up, guys? So this is Fantasy LOM. We're back here. We're gonna do another mock draft with Underdog. All right, guys. So this is Fantasy LOM here. You see, we have the fifth overall pick, and Mr. Tiza Zing is first on the board. Obviously, the first couple options, Justin Jefferson is the overwhelming favorite, followed by Jamar Chase, and a lot of people have Christian McCaffrey also circled in there as a potential first overall. Um, So as the fifth overall, we're going to be maybe eyeing either a high-end running back, maybe someone like CMC if he falls a little bit, potentially Eckler, he might be there. Um, Sometimes another great person who, oh wow, look at that, two people already off the board, Justin Jefferson, and then Jamar Chase going number two. That's a great pick. And CMC, like I said, those top three guys going back to back to back. We're going to be up soon too. So Jum Jumanji 1709 is up right now. Let's see who they're going to take. Oh, and they snuck in there with Austin Eckler. All right. So now, like I said, with those top two running backs off the board, you have the top two wide receivers off the board. In this situation, I'm now looking at the next best player and happen to go with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is going to be a beast coming back with hopefully Tua Tagovailoa. It's going to be a strong second year with Coach McDaniels. You saw Bijan going, Travis Kelce, AJ Brown sneaking up there at pick number 8. We'll see how Hurts does this year after leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl last year. Will he have a bounce back year again, or are they going to be suffering from a Super Bowl hangover? You see the next couple picks: Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb. It'll be interesting to see how Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen kind of mesh this year. There's been a lot of rifts in the offseason, especially after the way the playoffs ended for them last year. I'm a little hesitant to stay away from Stephon Diggs considering all that this year. I like Nick Chubb a lot. I think he's going to have another great year. He's always a workhorse back. And Munchies, looks like they went on auto pick, and they went with CeeDee Lamb. All right. So we'll be up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 picks. So keep an eye out who we might want to get. We have a little time still, so we can still kind of filter out, see what the other teams are strategizing right now. The Tub is on the board. What is he going to do? And he also went auto, taking Devontae Adams. A lot of wide receivers going off the board early so far. So just to recap, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. All wide receivers, all gone already by the second round. And Cooper Kupp, the first wide receiver in the second round to go. We'll see how he does this year with a bounce back season from his injury last year. Saquon Barkley taken by Team Munchies. JT Woods taking Tony Pollard. That's another great pick. Garrett Wilson. Not too high on Garrett Wilson. We'll see how he does with Aaron Rodgers and their new look offense this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, these guys going fast right now. I like to see this. So we'll be coming up soon. Like I said, all these wide receivers going off the board. Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all second round wide receivers to be taken. And we have our first quarterback taken off the board. Wow, Patrick Mahomes taken in the middle of the second round. It's kind of a stretch for me, I would say personally, taking a quarterback that early. But if you're going to take someone that early, better be one of those top two guys, Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. And we're going to be up next. So we have Tyreek Hill. Josh Jacobs is on the board. Derrick Henry. How do we feel about him? I think Derrick Henry's looking to have another great season primed with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. I think it's going to be a lot easier for him to run the ball, taking Derrick Henry. So just to recap right now, we have Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill so far. Next team on the board, Team Jumanji, 1709. They take Josh Jacobs. I don't know how I feel about Josh Jacobs. That's why I stayed away from him last pick. He had a great season last year, coming off with the offseason issues with his contract. Couldn't get that squared away. Got the 1 year deal, kind of similar to Saquon. We'll see how he does. With the new quarterback, Jimmy G, I don't know. I think I'd stay away from Josh Jacobs right now. And another team going auto, taking Chris Olave. I'm very high on Chris Olave this year. I think he was one of the top wide receiver rookies last year. Him and Garrett Wilson. I mean, now the addition of Derek Carr as a legit quarterback, I think he's going to be primed for another significant breakout year. And we see here Team Look Pepin 9390 taking the second quarterback, Jalen Hurts, another great pick. Shout out to my guy Jalen Hurts here. Hopefully to see him back in the Super Bowl next year and hopefully winning it. Can't believe we got screwed on that pass interference call. Just have to throw that in there real quick. But now Mr. Zing on the board, and he's taken Devontae Smith, another hometown Philadelphia guy. Love to see it. I think he's going to have another great year. I mean, the Philadelphia offense is loaded right now. So between Devontae, AJ Brown, the addition of DeAndre Swift, I mean, they're going to be a scary, scary offense. And of course, Dallas Goedert, old reliable, is still there. Now we're looping back into the first pick of the third round. Mr. TZ Zing once again on auto, and he selected Calvin Ridley. That's a great pick. I think it might be a little bit of a stretch taking him that early, but just considering how many weapons they have as a whole. But I mean, Calvin Ridley, I think he's definitely on the lookout for a breakout year, I would say. Just hope he stays away from the gambling. T. Higgins, now Heshi, 72, taking DK Metcalf. A lot of wide receivers. A lot of wide receivers going off the board early. It's just a interesting draft strategy by a lot of these teams right now. Don't seem to be valuing a lot of those mid-tier running backs right now. Their quarterback taking Josh Allen. I'm a little hesitant to reach for Josh Allen. I think there's a clear drop off between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and then the next tier of quarterbacks with the Josh Allens of the world, the Trevor Lawrences of the world. Um, I mean, Josh Allen's a great quarterback, but reaching for him in the third round. And now we just went with Mark Andrews. I mean, getting OBJ this offseason, Zay Flowers, a rookie first round selection. I mean, the offense is going to be wide open, and they're going to be looking to pass, and pass the ball. I mean, besides Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, is also a significant drop off with the tight ends, in my opinion. So just kind of rounding out our team with a running back in Derrick Henry, wide receiver in Tyreek Hill, tight end in Mark Andrews, really gives us a holistic view right now. And we see another quarterback taking Lamar Jackson, our quarterback Mark Andrews. So hopefully, Lamar has a good season. Lamar has a good season. Mark Andrews has a good season. Joe Mixon, oof, man, Joe Mixon. He's one of those guys. He's bit me so much in the past. I stay away from Joe Mixon. I think there's a lot of other running backs, especially at this point. There's a Jamar Gibbs, Ramondre Stevenson, Travis Etienne, especially if you're weary about the Travis Etienne Tank Bigsby combo. Ramondre is the workhorse back right there. So you see Keenan, Jamar Gibbs just gone. The Tub taking Justin Fields and now snaking back around into the first pick of the fourth round. Let's see who the Tub decides to get. Travis Etienne. All right, so far, just to recap again, we have Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews. In this situation, I'm either looking for if a top QB is still on the board, a potentially like a Josh Allen now sneaking into round four. I would potentially think about him. Otherwise, either looking at a top wide receiver one who's still on the board, or potentially a RB1 who's still on the board, depending on the situation. I like Ramondre a lot. I like Amari Cooper a lot, especially. Let's see if either one of them fall to us. Speaking of Ramondre, Ramondre is just gone right now. So right now, I'm really looking at Amari Cooper. I think being the wide receiver one with Deshaun Watson in his first full season, really being part of the Cleveland Browns offense, coming off the suspension last season. I think Amari Cooper could be primed to have a great year, and let's hope he falls to us. One more pick away. Can he fall to us? Come on. All right, and this is when we know the fantasy gods are working in our favor. So we saw three picks go: Najee Harris, Drake London, and Mike Williams, all saving us Amari Cooper, who is a wide receiver one for the Cleveland Browns, and he's going to be our wide receiver two. Another side note, I mean, if you're anytime you're able to get a wide receiver one filled in as your wide receiver two is always a benefit. Same way, if you're able to get an RB1 in your RB2 slot, I mean, it's only going to work wonders with the amount of touches that they receive. Heshi 72. Are they going to be on auto? Oh, all right. Joe Burrow. Wonderful pick. I'm a little surprised to see Joe Burrow fall this late compared to Justin Fields. Some of the other quarterbacks have gone. I'm really a big fan of Joe Burrow. I mean, this dude's got a stacked offense, stacked wide receiver core, arguably one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, in my opinion. Maybe right behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, I mean, he's got a decent running back, Joe Mixon. So Joe Burrow's gonna, I think, have a great season. Brees Hall, we'll see how he does coming off the ACL, LCL major constructive surgery. The addition of Dalvin Cook, I think he's gonna see a regression of touches this year. Might be beneficial if you're in a PPR league. Might recoup some value there, but I don't really see him getting a lot of red zone touches, especially lack of touchdown targets is definitely going to be a hindrance in fantasy. Jonathan Taylor, wow, Mr. Teaser Zing taking a risk here, snagging him late with a 48th overall pick. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's out. We know he's out for the first 4 weeks, definitely, and we'll see how what happens. Jim Irsay is a wild card of an owner. Who knows, what he's gonna do, what he's gonna say. Jonathan Taylor might come back week five, or he might be out for the whole year and he pulls a Le'Veon Bell. So personally, I would stay away from him that early. Maybe if we can sneak him down. If he fell to maybe around 6 or 7, I would have thought about it. But Mr. Tiza Zing taking a big chance there. And now we're going to be up in two more picks, Heshi 72 and Jumanji. So just a little recap again. We have Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, and Mark Andrews. So in this situation now, most of the top tier quarterbacks, like I mentioned, are off the board. There's still Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Tua Tagovailoa. I personally view Trevor Lawrence as still a class above the rest. I think Deshaun, Tua fall into their own category. You can throw Dak Prescott in there. And then there's another drop off. You have the Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins of the world, Aaron Rodgers of the world. He's a great quarterback, but not a good fantasy quarterback. So in this situation, early mid fifth round pick, I want to secure a top quarterback before I'm left with one of those mid tiers. And I'm going to go with the Prince himself, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to have a great, great season. I mean, we saw it with his amazing playoff win last year, and then the addition of Calvin Ridley, like I mentioned. Um, I think he's going to have another great season. And then, of course, Doug Peterson, the quarterback whisperer himself. All right, look at that. So Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews. I'm loving I'm loving the team that we're forming right now with the core quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends all kind of filling in right now. Um, Darren Waller, another tight end off the board, I think he's an interesting one. I mean, when healthy, he's a top three tight end in the league. One of the best route running tight ends. Got one of the best hands for a tight end in the league as well. Issue's been the past couple seasons though, just staying healthy and on the field. I mean, the greatest ability is availability, and if you can't stay available, then what good are you to the team? So we'll see how he does this year. I mean, the Giants don't really have many other wide receivers to throw to, so if Darren Waller can stay healthy, keep an eye out for him to get a massive, massive target share. Now, Deontay Johnson, Aaron Jones, Tyler Lockett, Mr. Monday Night Football himself, just drafted. You need someone to score 30 points Monday night, Tyler Lockett's your guy. Terry McLaurin, I know he's coming off. He has a turf toe injury from preseason. We'll see how he does. Whether he's going to be ready for week one or not is still a question. I'm not sure how the Commanders' quarterback situation is going to be either with Sam Howell. I would stay away from a lot of those passing targets that the Commanders have this season. George Kittle, another good tight end taken. Damian Pierce. So we still have a couple more picks left, but we have 3, 6. We'll be up in about 7 more draft picks. But just to keep an eye out, Damian Pierce, another guy just gone. Jerry Jeudy. So right now, with the team that we have currently structured, I'd probably be looking for a running back one still to fill in here. We have good wide receivers. We have a good tight end. Um, I like Javonte Williams a lot. He tore his ACL last year, early week 4, which is actually a benefit for him to come back. He'll be ready earlier this season. He should be good to go by week 1. But I mean, he had a fantastic first 4 weeks before getting hurt. And prior to that, in 2021, when he was a rookie, he was still splitting carries with Melvin Gordon, but he still cracked, I think, almost 1,200 yards rushing. So that shows you the type of talent he has. I think Javonte Williams still a young back, 23, 24 at the oldest. Got a lot of tread left on those tires. So right now we're looking at a running back, and I think Javonte Williams might be our guy. A lot of wide receivers still going off the board. Chris Godwin, excuse me. Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Jahan Dotson in his second full season now after his rookie year last year. Had a great college career at Penn State. J.K. Dobbins, rooting for the guy after major knee surgery. Had a great year a couple years ago. The Ravens run attack, but we'll see how he does. Now we're on the clock, so like I mentioned, right now I'm eyeing a running back. We have 2 wide receivers already. Not really looking for a backup quarterback this early. Not really looking for a backup tight end either. So I mean, I like Zay Flowers if I wanted to lean with a receiver, but Javonte Williams, the value I'm getting. All right, so a little minor technical difficulty there, but had us end up taking Jordan Addison. That was a little interesting of a pick. Not too happy that went that way. Um, like I said, I was really leaning towards Javonte Williams. Wanted a running back 2 there. It's all right. Jordan Addison still prime rookie. I think coming from Pittsburgh, he'll have a good year. With Justin Jefferson on the outside, I mean, he's going to be doubled all the time. So Jordan Addison's going to be left wide open for a lot of single coverage slot targets. So I would keep him on the lookout as well. Zay Flowers, Cam Akers, James Cook, all gone. We're going to be up in 4 picks, so maybe we can get our guy Javonte Williams after all. How about we try typing it in this time, see if he mitigates any. There we go. All right, so Looks like we could maybe potentially still get Javonte Williams after all. Could all work out. No harm, no foul. We'll be up in 2 picks. We saw JSN go, the rookie from Ohio State. Broke his wrist during the offseason. But man, this dude's a trooper, came back already. I think they said he's primed to play for week 1. Cortland Sutton, with Jerry Jeudy out, is going to be primed for good targets. Brandon Cooks, also taken. And now, like I mentioned, we wanted that running back. We wanted Javonte Williams. We couldn't get him last time. Technical difficulties held us back, but not this time. We're taking Javonte Williams. Welcome to the team. All right. So, really filling out our running back and wide receivers there. I really like to see that. I think with the struggles in the passing attack that Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos had last season, Javonte Williams is primed to get a bunch of touches. I mean, short game, long game, passing attack. This dude's a versatile back. I think he's going to get a lot of touches. Being an RB1, for us filling in an RB2 spot, love to see it. David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, both taking Miles Sanders the RB1. Carolina after departing from Philadelphia this offseason. Alvin Kamara just taken as well. Oh, 2 tight ends before that. Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert. I don't know how I feel about Kyle Pitts. They don't really run the ball too much under Arthur Smith's offense. They're more of a run-heavy offense, especially with Tyler Algier last season and now the addition of their first-round pick, Bijan Robinson. So we'll see how much they actually pass the ball. But Sky Moore, Michael Pittman, James Conner, another great pick. I think James Conner is going to have a crap ton of points this season. I mean, with Kyler Murray coming off his injury, they're going to rely heavily on James Conner. Plus, trading away D-Hop in the offseason doesn't really leave them with too many other passing attack options on the outside. And now we're going to be up. Dalvin Cook just taken. We're going to be up in 6 picks. So let's get ready. Let's see again. We got Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams rounding out our running backs. Wide receivers, we have Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, Mark Andrews as our tight end. So now in this situation, I kind of now want to just get the best available player. We've hit all the main criteria: quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, running back. Not too worried about anything else now but depth and who's the best available. There's a lot of wide receivers you can snag later in the draft as well. Some of the Allen Lazards of the world, the Nico Collins of the world, Juju Smith-Schusters. But starting running backs are far and few in between. I'm a massive, massive fan of both Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. I don't think you can go bad with either one of them. Brian Robinson, the rookie last year, coming off of a horrific shooting incident. He got shot at multiple times, couldn't play at the start of the season, came back, I think week 8 or week 9, and hit the ground running. I mean, this dude is a tank. And he's a short down, red zone back. And Antonio Gibson, another young back as well, I think 24 years old. He's a great receiving back. And under Bieniemy, their new offensive coordinator, we do know that Bieniemy loves to utilize those backs, whether it's Pacheco or Jerick McKinnon or whoever else they had back there in a variety of ways. So I'm going with Antonio Gibson with my selection right here in the 8th round. I mean, I think the depth at running back to get a potential RB1 this late in the draft, plus someone who adds PPR value, you couldn't have gone wrong with Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson. However, I do think Gibson adds a slight more value in PPR, which is why I ended up going with him here. And we saw Slant Boy going next, Mr. Michael Thomas himself. Will he be on the field this year? Who knows? That man is an enigma. So maybe now I think we got Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, Tyreek, Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, Mark Andrews. Once again, now it's really just about the best players who are on the board. I mean, we have a little ways to go still to our pick, about 6 more picks. DeAndre Swift, Rashad Bateman just taken. I would stay away from getting a backup quarterback still, just especially because I have Trevor Lawrence if I was to take a quarterback though, I would take Deshaun Watson in this situation. Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is a great fantasy quarterback, and Deshaun Watson has been a great quarterback in the past, so both could be great options. However, I think I'm going to be staying away from the quarterback situation right now, trying to fill in more of our roster with the wide receivers. Um, right now, looking at Romeo Dobbs, the second year target. For now, Jordan Love in the Green Bay Packers offense. Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs will both be on the outside. Watson had a great rookie year. Dobbs had a good rookie year, but we'll see how they do. So I'm looking at Dobbs a lot right now. I think he's going to get a massive target share because it'll be primarily just the two of them. I like Juju Smith a lot as well, coming this late in the draft. Someone who you can fill in as your third or fourth wide receiver. But I think we're going to have to lean with Romeo Dobbs still, though. Romeo Dobbs, second year player for the Green Bay Packers. Had a good first year, nothing too crazy. 3 touchdowns, 425 yards receiving, 42 targets. Mind you, Christian Watson was still there. Randall Cobb was still there. Aaron Rodgers didn't come to the offseason minicamp. He didn't build up any rapport with those rookies. But this is the new year, new quarterback, and I think Dobbs is going to have a great season. So we're going to go with Romeo Dobbs. All right. So just a little recap again. At quarterback, we have Trevor Lawrence. At running back, we have Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, and Antonio Gibson. We have a little good mix of power backs, receiving backs, and a little hybrid in between with Javonte Williams. In wide receivers, we have Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, both wide receiver ones for their teams, and then Jordan Addison and Romeo Dobbs, both wide receiver twos, who Romeo in Romeo Dobbs' case is a fringe wide receiver one between him and Christian Watson, and then filling in our tight end spot is good old Mark Andrews. So I'm loving the way our roster is forming right now. I think we have great versatility in all aspects, especially if you're looking in the PPR realm. I mean, we've got great PPR players with Tyreek Hill, Antonio Gibson, Amari Cooper, even with the amount of touches he gets. So now we're sneaking back into the end of the ninth, and then we're going to be working our way to the 10th round. So we got a little ways to go until our next pick. We got a little bit of time, so we can kind of scope out what some of these teams want to do. Evan Ingram, Zach Charbonnet, great rookie running back. I think Seattle they always find great rookie gems every single season, whether it was Kenneth Walker last season, Zach Charbonnet, I think another great one this year. Traylon Burks, Tennessee taken, and Kadarius Toney, head coach Andy Reid actually just came out and said that Kadarius Toney will be ready to play Week 1 this coming Thursday against the Detroit Lions. So keep an eye on that and him to be ready for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 quarterbacks taken off the board, Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. And like I said, this is a situation where if you hadn't taken a quarterback already, all right, JT Wood has, but Munchies hasn't. So now he's left with Kirk Cousins as his primary quarterback. Nothing wrong with Kirko, but man, as your quarterback one, that's a little rough. It's a little rough. So, like I said, there's a few quarterbacks up there. The Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts combo. Then you have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Um, they're in that mix as well. You could toss Tua in there, Joe Burrow, of course. But other than that, I mean, the talent starts to slide real fast after the fifth, sixth quarterback taken off the board. Pat Fryermuth, another Mr. Reliable tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Kenny Pickett, Dak Prescott, Odell Beckham Jr. taken. So now we're going to be up in 5 picks. So, like I said, we have a pretty rounded out roster right now. We only have one tight end. Maybe I want to see what kind of tight ends are still on the board. You have David Njoku, tight end, the only tight end one still left. Dalton killed. Actually, I take that back. There's also Dalton Schultz, but who knows with their rookie quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud this year, their rookie coach coming over from the Niners, D'Amico Ryans. We'll see how they do. So I mean, still stay away from much of the Houston Texans passing attack. I think David Njoku is still our guy here. Hopefully, he stays on the board. All right, and Juju Smith was just taken, so perfect. Like I mentioned, let's kind of round out our tight end depth. We have depth at almost every other position except quarterback right now, which is not needed considering we have the Prince himself, Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to go ahead and take David Njoku, another great pass catching tight end. I think Deshaun Watson, he's going to benefit as well in the second full season of Deshaun Watson. So just added David Njoku to our team. Welcome to the team, David Njoku. All right, so another quick recap. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson at running back. Wide receivers, we have Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, and Romeo Doubs. And then just added on Mr. David Njoku with Mark Andrews to round out our tight end group. Looking pretty strong right now. I like that a lot. Tyler Boyd, Jalen Warren just taking the backup running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't draft him with the hope of him getting much playing time on the field. He's more of a reserve player you might keep, especially if you drafted Najee Harris. You want him as a security blanket option just in case something happens to Najee. But I wouldn't really draft Jalen Warren with the thinking that he's going to get much playing time this season. And Dalton Kincaid, another rookie player taken for the Buffalo Bills, tight end. Not sure how much playing time he's going to get between him and Dawson Knox. Obviously, also the Bills' passing attack is pretty stacked with Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. They also added James Cook. So we'll see what happens in terms of how much of a passing attack he really gets this season. But we'll be up soon now. Samaje Perine just taken, so now we'll be up in 5 picks. So, like I mentioned, after just going through, we have a pretty rounded out team. I'm very happy with the way our team's looking right now. At this point in the game, I'm probably looking for value, late round value, maybe potential starters. Like someone I'm seeing right now, Raheem Mostert is someone I keep my eye on. I know Jeff Wilson actually, unfortunately, went down with a season-ending injury a couple days ago, unfortunately, which is opening up the door for Raheem Mostert to be the pure running back one, because the only other running back they have on the roster is a rookie running back they selected this past offseason. So keep in mind Raheem Mostert will be the running back one and will get massive target share. I know we did draft Tyreek Hill already, but I mean this late in the draft, in the 11th round, if I can pick him up at pick 125 of starting running back RB1, I mean that's a steal right there. And just as I say that, Heshy 72 looks like great minds think alike. My guy came in there and stole the pick away from me. So sometimes it works in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. The rookie I mentioned I was talking about was actually Devon Achaney, the only other running back now on Miami's roster. But Heshy 72, man, I hate to see when you get sniped like that. So Jerick McKinnon taken. So now we got to kind of pivot here. What do we see want to do? Jamal Williams, especially with um, Alvin Kamara out for the first 3 weeks, he's going to get massive touches. As a plug and chug back, I think Jamal Williams. All right. And see, now this is a reminder, guys, to everyone out there. Be sure to know who you want at the draft. I wasn't quick enough, and I got penalized right there. I wanted Javonte Williams, or not Javonte Williams. I wanted Williams, but I ended up getting Rashad Penny. A little disappointed by that, but at least it's in the 11th round, a little later in the draft. Not to worry that I wasn't relying on Williams to be a starting caliber running back for me, especially the depth that we have at running back. Not too worried about that. Um, but always, it's always good to have players in your queue. Can never hurt you to have players queued up. You just saw that happen here. Um, so yeah, now who are we looking at here, I guess? So we have a couple picks until our pick now. Um, Good amount of picks actually. So we can kind of scope out, see what these other teams want to do. Now we're kind of getting to the scrub player category here. Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen. Like I mentioned, we'd want to always queue guys up. So now in the 12th round, looking for a backup QB just to aid Trevor Lawrence in his bye week, as well as on the off chance, God forbid, something happens, he might get hurt or something. You never wish that on your star player, but it's always good to have an insurance policy. Derek Carr going to be a first year player with the New Orleans Saints this year. Chris Olave, second year player. Hopefully Michael Thomas coming back. You have Williams from Detroit coming over. You have Alvin Kamara coming back from suspension. I mean, the team's pretty loaded. Should have good pieces. Derek Carr should play pretty well. And now we're up on the board. So Dalton Schultz taken, Damian Harris taken, Big Higby was taken, like I mentioned. So, like what we were just talking about, we wanted to get some security and some insurance policy for our quarterback position. Where right now we only have Trevor Lawrence, so we're going to go ahead and draft Derek Carr, the only other reasonable quarterback left on the board. I mean, Russell Wilson had a terrible season last year. Kenny Pickett still a novice. I mean, not too many other guys I trust here on the board. So Derek Carr, I'm going to go with you. Hopefully he has a good season. Sid himself from Toy Story. Love to see it. Derek Carr, welcome to the team. All right, and we got a pick coming up in about seven picks now. So Marvin Mims, Ferguson taken. Um, Now we're really, scrapping the bottom of the barrel on some of these players here. So, at this point, I'm really, really what I look for at these later stages is just pure depth and pure value picks. I mean, like I mentioned before, any potential starting one caliber receiver or running back is always number one pick for me in these situations. That's why we had gone with Javonte Williams, and then even Antonio Gibson a little while ago. But now I'm looking at actually DJ Chark, the wide receiver one for Carolina. I know that there's a rookie quarterback. Um, with Bryce Young from Alabama this year. We'll see how he does, undersized quarterback, but a lot of hype, a lot of talent there. Brought over Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings this offseason to this offense. I think I'm looking at DJ Chark right now. He's optimistic to be ready for week one. I mean, considering we also have Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, and Romeo Dobbs already on our roster, I'm not relying on DJ Chark to be our primary wide receiver. Anything I can get from him, upside wise, is all icing on the cake at this point, considering I'll be drafting him in the fifth pick in the 13th round, pick number 149 overall. Um, so we'll see. Jonathan Mingo just taking another rookie, actually, that Carolina drafted, but still only a rookie. Between him and Thielen, they'll kind of split some shares, and DJ Chark will get the primary bulk. So I'm still liking DJ Chark a lot in this situation. Let's see who Jumanji wants to go with 1709. Are they going to snipe our pick? They did, and Donovan Peoples Jones. All right. So that means we'll go ahead and select DJ Chark. Welcome to the team, DJ Chark. Rounding out our solid wide receiver class with two clear cut wide receiver ones in Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, two fringe wide receiver ones with DJ Chark and Romeo Dobbs, and then a clear wide receiver two in Jordan Addison. And great versatility, whether it's on the outside, on the inside, slot. So great versatility in our wide receiver room here. Uh, Kenny Pickett taken, Okay, thank God that guy actually drafted Tua. I was about to say that'd be rough if you only had Kenny Pickett there as his primary quarterback. Oh, Deion Jackson, great value pick taken in the late 13th round. He's going to be the clear starter for the first 4 weeks at least until Jonathan Taylor's situation can be a little more resolved or clarified. But for the time being, Deion Jackson is going to be the starter. And when he was thrust into that opportunity a couple games last season, he capitalized on it, I think, scoring multiple double digit fantasy scoring games. So keep an eye on Deion Jackson, especially with a rookie quarterback. The best thing that can help them is having a strong running game. So Deion Jackson should be getting a crap ton of touches. Russell Wilson, oof, Broncos country. Let's ride. Good luck, Mr. Munchies, taking Russell Wilson on your team. And now, who do we want to select? Because it's basically, at this point, the next best available player we can get. Kareem Hunt, further down. I know not the biggest fan of some of these guys. There's Alec Pierce. Right now, once again, I would look at Rondale Moore actually, considering he will be the primary wide receiver along with Hollywood Brown. Um, Trading away D Hop this offseason, I think he's going to be primed to have a significant increase in target shares. And once again, drafting a fringe first slash second round, second wide receiver in the 14th round is an absolute value pick. I mean, better than some of the other wide receivers available. No, no hate against Devontae Parker or Tank Dell or Curtis Samuel, but the upside that you're getting is a lot slimmer than someone like Rondale Moore in this situation. So welcome to the team, Rondale Moore. Glad to have you. And we are now 6 picks away. KJ Osborne gone. Irv Smith just taken. Eyeing Greg Dulcich a little bit here. He should get a significant target share, especially with Jerry Jeudy out for the first couple games with the injury. Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, two other quarterbacks taken off the board. We'll see how both of them do. Not really strong fantasy quarterbacks, more of team managers and game managers than actual game changers. For fantasy purposes, you want a game changer, not a game manager. You want someone who can really, sling the ball, let the ball go. They're not worried about a pick here or there. Rather, letting it fly. But now Dawson Knox is taken. We're on the board. Jeff Wilson's hurt. I like Devontae Parker considering they gave him a deal here, but not too much. There's not too much depth now in these later rounds. I'm not too much of a fan of any of these players actually. I would have I would have looked at Joshua Palmer actually, someone to keep our eye on. Chase Claypool potentially, but they added DJ Moore this offseason. Not sure how many touches he's going to end up getting. Now we're 12 picks away, so we can kind of sit tight a little, hold on to our team, look at what the other teams have or want to do. Isaiah Hodgins taken, Curtis Samuel taken. Isaiah Hodgins part of that desolate New York Giants wide receiver core with Darius Slayton and the addition of Darren Waller. Curtis Samuel, once again, I mentioned part of that stay away from Commanders wide receiver core because of Samuel Howell. I'm not sure how he's going to do. I mean, I know they have some weapons there with Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, but still stay away from those guys. Gus Edwards, backup running back to J.K. Dobbins. When he was thrust into the role again, he had a good season as well too. Between him and J.K. Dobbins, they're going to split a lot of carries. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is also a rusher himself, so he's going to split carries as well, three ways. Not too, I don't look too fondly on Gus Edwards. Greg Dulcich, however, is a strong pick here. Um, Tight end one for the Denver Broncos. These guys are really kind of flying off the board here. I like it. Kareem Hunt, free agent, so we'll see what happens there. Kendre Miller, running back for the New Orleans Saints, rookie. We'll see how he does. First few games without Alvin Kamara, so him and Williams, primary two backs, are going to have to be carrying the load. Devin Singletary, also taken. Him and Damian Pierce, the second-year running back, who had a great, fantastic rookie year, are going to be priming the 1-2 punch in the Houston Texans backfield. Jeff Wilson, I don't know why Munchies took him, man. That guy's out for the season on IR, so that's just a bad draft pick right there. Always got to make sure to do your research ahead of time for reasons just like that. You never want to waste a draft pick, no matter what round it's in. Every draft pick is always essential. But Deuce Vaughn, rookie out of TCU, miniature running back. We'll see how he does. Drafted by Dallas. They have Tony Pollard as well. Hunter Renfrow, Darius Slayton. These guys are all going off the board fast now. Now we'll be up in two picks. Still eyeing Joshua Palmer, LA Chargers wide receiver. He's not the wide receiver 1, 2. He's eyeing more the wide receiver 3 slot actually. However, with the injury history the LA Chargers have had, especially at the wide receiver position, Joshua Palmer is someone who can easily have high upside, um, especially this late, taking him in the 16th round. And like they say here, he should maintain a role behind the top two duo. So, and we got sniped. Kangaroo coming in there. Man, hate to see when that happens. Hate to see when that happens. Um, so in this case, we're going to go with someone who's had some familiarity already with the offense, Chase Claypool. In his first full season, he got traded last year, halfway through from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Chicago Bears. Had a decent season with rookie quarterback, or second-year quarterback, excuse me, um, Justin Fields. We'll see now how he does in his first full season with Justin Fields now entering his third season as a quarterback in the NFL. Bryce Young taken, the rookie out of Alabama. Devontae Foreman. See how now we're really, scraping the barrel with some of these picks down here. I hate to say it, but let's see who was available. Tight ends, you maybe got a Tyler Conklin. Hunter Henry is still there if we want a Hunter Henry. Chuba Hubbard is still there. He's not the RB1. Miles Sanders is actually the RB1 there, coming over from Philadelphia this offseason. Signed a lucrative deal with Carolina. We'll be up in 4 picks, so let's queue up Hunter Henry. Let's take a look at who else are some of the wide receivers on the board. Because Hunter Henry will be the tight end one, and we all know Bill Belichick loves to utilize his tight ends. Yeah, we also, and granted, we do have Devontae Parker, but hopefully between the one of them should get a good significant amount of the Patriots' target share. Wide receiver to keep my eye on late still is John Mechie. He'll be a rookie. He didn't play all last season with fighting with leukemia, but he's got massive upside. Him and CJ Stroud could have a great connection. So I'll be looking for him. Um, we'll be up in 2 picks, so let's also keep an eye on potentially Zach Ertz. I know he's coming off, I think, an ACL injury. Uncertain to play week 1. Yeah. So maybe in a situation like this, you stay away from Zach Ertz. Still unsure about the whole quarterback situation as well with Kyler Murray and his injury. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just round out the tight end group we have. We have a strong, strong tight end group with Mark Andrews and David Njoku, but you can always get stronger. And drafting, like I said, a tight end one, this late, Hunter Henry, welcome to the team. Like I said, Bill Belichick also loves to utilize tight ends, whether it was Rob Gronkowski for years, Aaron Hernandez for a few seasons back then as well. I mean, he really knows how to utilize those tight ends. And they're always a safety blanket for quarterbacks as well. So it's not, it's not like Mac Jones has a crazy strong arm. He's not going to be slinging it downfield all day long. So this tight end is a safety blanket, someone he can comfortably check down to if he needs to. And I'm looking for Hunter Henry to have a great season this year. So now, who do we'll be up in 13 picks, 12 picks now, so we can kind of sit tight a little bit. We have John Mechie queued up, but we've been sniped twice before in this draft already itself. So I think we should go ahead and queue up just another person to give ourselves a little wiggle room so we're not flying around at the last situation. There's Allen Robinson with Pittsburgh, but they also have my man George Pickens out there. Randall Cobb, more of a more of a name at this point than an actual contributor. Really like John Mechie here still, guys. I mean, I think he has the potential to really, really be the wide receiver one in Houston, considering they don't have a wide receiver one right now, I believe. Um, they have Nico Collins, John Mechie, but that's basically about it. And uh, Robert Woods as well, but he's on the downside of his career now, so I'm not really too worried about him. So now we have Mecole Hardman, another solid value pick to take this late in the 18th round, 207th overall pick. We'll be up in about 4 picks, 3 picks now. Jimmy G just taken as well. Just got the notification. Got to plug in my laptop here. Don't want to have the draft die on us. Marvin Jones still playing with Detroit, just taken as well. Like I said, John Mechie's still the guy I'm eyeing right now. I mean, in terms of upside with target share, at this point in the draft, in the 18th round, can't really tell me many other guys you're going to get. Henry is coffee. Had to go on auto pick and ended up drafting Kyler Murray. Okay, that's rough. Now let's see Kangaroo. He sniped us last time. Oh wow, and he snipes us in back-to-back rounds. All right, that's not really wonderful to see, but luckily for us, had a backup option here in Alan Lazard. If it'll let us select him. And give right here, late. Luckily, once again, not early pick, but ended up getting us forward. All right. Now they got at that point. Will include happening back, but continue. All right. So let's take Allen Robinson. Let's get him into our favorites here. Queue him up. A little recap here after we took Jerome Ford, Ryan Tannehill, Nikou, and then Zach Moss were taken. Unfortunately, that was the last pick in the 18th round, so we weren't would go ahead and get Allen Robinson that guy. Never right. Technically, this happened. Luckily, it was last round though. Once again, it wasn't like a major make or break or anything too crazy, but let's quick run through our team. I really like our team structure. We have 2 QBs, 5 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. I think great overall depth in the 2 hard-hitting positions, running back and wide receiver, especially the injury-riddled positions as well. So want to make sure to get extreme depth. Got some nice depth at the tight end. Three tight ends is pretty great, especially with the two strong tight ends that we have. And then at quarterback, we're a little light at quarterback usually. Two quarterbacks is good. You don't really want to push maybe two, maybe three sometimes. That's kind of pushing it. Especially, but in a situation like this where you have a strong top tier quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, maybe Patrick Mahomes, maybe Jalen Hurts. For us, it's Trevor Lawrence. Not really worried too much about a backup in this situation. So not too concerned with that. But let's quickly run through who we had here at the conclusion of the draft. So Team Fantasy LON at the end of the draft here has Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr. At the running backs, we have Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson,